So can I have Dr. Jesse Miller and Dr. Raha Bean come down for a second? We wanted to, I mean, the thing that I think makes this experience, in addition to the brilliant minds and the just genuinely nice kids, the thing that separates this program and makes the experience, and we hear it again and again and again, is the mentors that our young scientists are paired up with. So I'd love to just ask you both, what has really surprised you this year? Because you've been doing this. You're a veteran.
This
right?
is my second year doing this.
This is your second year. So tell us, what surprised you this year about the process?
What's really exciting and surprising is sort of the inspiration that I draw from my finalist. I work with Anna, who worked with the filter on how to solve the world's problem for clean water. And she is so excited and so proactive about science and the scientific process that I can take her excitement and apply it to my everyday life at 3M.
Excellent, excellent. Jesse, how about you?
Well, for me, it was really interesting to watch this morning's chain reaction challenge. I'm a new guy to this whole thing, so I haven't been experienced to this before, but just watching them innovate and change direction really quickly kind of shows you, how some of our greatest scientific achievements have happened, such as, penicillin, discovery of penicillin and other things. They happen because an open mind is there and listening and looking and watching and able to change quickly and analyze things you just wouldn't think were there. So they were doing that during the chain reaction challenge. And it was like, wow, they're so young and their brains think so quickly. I wish mine still thought that quickly.
What do you think for the students that are out there watching? And we had the question, from Rodney earlier about the subjects in school, because this isn't just about science, right? I mean, we can see their communication skills. What advice do you have for the students that are saying, I want to be one of these 10?
The advice that I'd give is to pursue your passions. I think that if we move towards what we're naturally inclined to do and naturally interested in, then we can be better at it and more passionate about it to move problems and ideas forward to actual solutions. So really, if you feel inclined and you really enjoy something, pursue that and make that your passion and your future career.
Excellent. Jesse, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Dr. Bean. You said that very eloquently. The other thing I would say was don't be scared of failure. And you learn from failures, and be sure to understand that that's not a bad thing to fail. Just learn from it and take your learnings and apply them to your next experience.
Excellent. Well, can we get a round of applause for all of the mentors again for a fantastic job? Thank you both for coming down. Thank you. All right, my friend, you all set up?
Yep.
Ready to go? Mm-hmm. You got a nice setup here. So everybody, this is Jay. Jay is from Virginia, and he is going to impress us with his innovation. So let's give him a warm welcome.
Imagine not being able to open your windows for fear that you'll get sick. That's what I heard my grandparents say a couple of years ago when I visited them in India. 7 million people die each year from air pollution. 3.7 million of those deaths occur when outdoor air pollution enters their homes. About 80% of those deaths occur in the developing countries with high population and poor environmental control. It is estimated that China is going to spend about $33 billion by 2017 on just air purification systems. The air pollution mainly comprises of large and small particulate matter, gases, and microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. Indoor air purifiers are not very effective. The affordable ones merely redistribute the pollutants indoors and generate harmful ozone. My solution is a window-mounted device that will capture the pollutants before it enters your room. My first solution, the Dust Zapper, was a low-cost solar-powered ionizer. A very high-voltage electrode would charge the dust particles, making them stick to a wire mesh. However, this failed to address gases and microorganisms and the high-voltage carried risk of electrical shock. Then, speaking to my mentor, Dr. Thunhorst, I learned that 3M has a filter that eliminates the need for ionization. It contains positively and negatively charged polypropylene fibers that have a much larger surface area than a metallic mesh. The dust particles get attracted to the charged fiber strands and stick to them. These fibers are able to capture particulate matter as small as 2.5 microns. I tested 7 3M filter media with different fiber densities and electrostatic characteristics to find the most efficient one. I first tested with an approximate amount of dust from the street, and then I used ASHRAE ISO standard dust. I measured the mass of the filter using a Jouler scale, and I measured the amount of dust let through using a particle counter. My data showed that Media 7 was the most efficient in catching particulate matter, catching 92% of small and 96% of large particulate matter. I then added an activated carbon filter to further remove particulate matter, odors, and volatile organic compounds. I had tackled the dust problem, but I still needed to address the gases, and found that during the monsoons, air pollution levels dropped dramatically in India. This led me to research about wet scrubbing. I found that this was used extensively to control industrial pollution. I hypothesized that if I mix calcium hydroxide in water, then it will react with gases like sulfur dioxide, creating a byproduct like calcium sulfate, which falls away into the drain. I then created the Aquazooka, which consists of a fan, a 3M filter, and a wet scrubber. Here I am testing the Aquazooka with a 3M filter, wearing a 3M respirator, and recording my results on a 3M gas detector. I found that the combination of wet scrubber and filter media was highly efficient. There was an 85% reduction in toxic gases. But then, speaking with some experts in India and here, I found that in some areas, water availability might make the Aquazooka difficult to implement. So while I had the dust problem tackled, I still needed an alternative for toxic gases. I hypothesized that if I used a UV light along with a titanium dioxide coated surface, I will be able to address airborne pathogens as well as toxic gases. The UV light activates the titanium dioxide photocatalyst, creating hydroxyl radicals, which combine with other elements in the air, breaking them down into harmless carbon dioxide and water molecules. I used a UVC germicidal lamp to address airborne pathogens, as the rays break the molecular structure of the DNA, making them harmless and preventing reproduction. My final solution, the Ultra Titan, consists of a fan which blows the air through a 3M electrostatic and 3M activated carbon filter. The remaining pollutants then enter a chamber where the UVC light kills all airborne pathogens, and the titanium dioxide oxidizes the toxic gases. The clean air then enters the home. I tested the Ultra Titan at the different stages of my solution with a 3M gas detector and found that there was well over 90% reduction in toxic gases as well as particulate matter. In the future, I plan on testing my solution in various climates, including seeing how it reacts. In conclusion, the Aquazooka and the Ultra Titan are both very effective solutions for highly polluted areas, is cost efficient, can be a major factor in our battle against air pollution, and can save millions of lives. I would like to thank Dr. Chris Schoenhorst for all of his support and guidance, 3M and Discovery Education for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and the judges and the audience for their time. Thank you.
So Jay, that was a great job. Did you encounter any challenges as you developed your prototype?
Okay, so yes, because, well, obviously we live in America, which doesn't have much pollution. The indoor air pollution is actually higher than the outdoor air pollution. So when I was trying to test my prototypes, I did encounter a problem. I couldn't test him without any dust. So then my mentor, Dr. Schoenhorst, she brought in another expert, Dr. Dennis Glass, who recommended using ASHRAE ISO standard dust to test the filters. So I got 3 pounds of dust in the mail, and I was able to test my solutions.
Fantastic job, Jay. I like how you consulted with experts in India, so I guess the world is still flat.
Yeah.
Question. I didn't get that slide. Could you go back to that slide where you talked about the byproducts of the non-toxic? Yeah. So my question to that is, are they all non-toxic? And the second part of that question, how are you getting rid of those byproducts in the system? Because over time, they will accumulate and so forth.
So that was one of the other problems that I encountered when I started thinking about what problems could happen. So in the future, I spoke with the executive director of the sustainability department of the Confederation of Indian Industries, and she said that she would put me in contact with some experts that could help me with the testing. And in the future, I do plan on finding a water circulation system. So there would be just one little tank of water that would keep circulating throughout the whole solution, and a waste collection.
Sounds like a fantastic idea. We know that calcium sulfate is insoluble, so how would you get rid of the precipitate in your cooling system?
Would you repeat that, please?
That calcium sulfate is insoluble, so how would you get rid of it after you circulate it in the water? It still would deposit, posing a problem.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying by the waste collection. I would have the drain where it would fall into, and there would be, say, some sort of tray. I haven't thought this through all the way yet. And then after a while, maybe a month or half a month, you would keep cleaning out that tray so that it doesn't overflow or get affected in any way.
Thank you.
Well done, Jay. I love how you talked with us a little bit about the unexpected challenges with water availability. What other groups of people, what other scientists might you consult to collaborate on your project to get this more available in third world countries?
Okay, so my mentor, she actually used to work at a place where it was a power plant, and what happened was they used a similar way to get rid of the pollutants from the air. And calcium sulfate is gypsum or hardwall. So I came up with this idea that you buy this and you get money. You sell all of the gypsum or hardwall to construction companies to get money. And yes, I do want to consult my mentor's previous workplace because I feel that they have a collection system that could help.
So Jay, this is a step up from the current 3M air filter. What is the cost associated with these many stages of filtration of the air for a typical house? What would you anticipate the cost to be, and how do you come up with that cost?
Okay, so to get all of these supplies, I just went on many runs to Home Depot and Lowe's, of course, to get supplies. So that took about a little less than $100, all of that put together. So when it becomes mass-produced, hopefully, it's definitely going to go down. And I plan on not making a profit off of this. I want to give this idea away to a nonprofit so that people can benefit from this instead of have to pay extra for somebody else's benefit. Thank you.
Fantastic job. So thank
you.
you so much, Jay. Things that you only hear, and you can see it on Twitter, things you only hear at the Young Scientist Challenge. So I ordered 3 pounds of dust, and it showed up by mail.
I love it.
All right. So one more round for Jay as he gets his
Thank you.
project.